Did you know some of your favorite A-listers have families we never even knew about? Some will do everything in their power to keep them away from the public eye, as is their right, and some choose to disassociate themselves from their famous relatives. Welcome back to Beyond the Screen. These are top 10 dark celebrity secrets famous families are hiding from you. At number 10, we have Jia Kim and Sang-hun Lee. The two starred alongside each other in the new spin-off series XO Kitty. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it yet, they both played the semi-potential love interests of the main character Kitty, and their performances and respective characters were well received by viewers. It became quite the story when they revealed that they are actually siblings in real life. In a podcast, Jia shared how she first received notice to audition for the show, which she then shared forward to her younger brother Sang-hun. She was already in the running to play Yuri, while Sang-hun forgot about it altogether and only had 3 days left until the audition's deadline. Luckily for him, his sister pestered him to get it done, and the rest is history. Jia Kim was actually a given stage name that she picked, and she was auditioning from LA while her brother still lived in Korea. The odds of them both being cast was slim to none, but they made it happen. At number 9, we have Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. The couple surprised us all when they welcomed their first baby into the world last year. This came as a shock because these news came out of nowhere. In 2021, during the Jonas Brothers family roast, Priyanka joked about how they were expecting, but little did viewers know she was actually telling the truth. The birth came via surrogate, which is how they were able to conceal any and all pregnancy news so easily from the world. They welcomed a little girl named Malti Marie and couldn't be happier to their new addition. On a joint statement shared on both stars' social media accounts, it read, "We are overjoyed to confirm that we have welcomed a baby via surrogate. We respectfully ask for your privacy during this special time as we focus on our family. Thank you very much." They received tons of praises and congratulations from fans and other celebrity friends of theirs. Baby Malti had a bit of a rough start upon her first few hours as a newborn, as she had to remain in the ICU or intensive care unit for 100 days. Fortunately, that is all she needed, as she was then taken home and has been growing healthy ever since. Priyanka would often post pictures of their daughter but made sure to cover her face entirely. That was until January this year, when she made her first public appearance at the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. Nick and his brothers Joe and Kevin were anointed their own plaques along the tourist-driven road. Next on the list, we have Elon Musk and Grimes. Okay, so we all know their first kid's name is X something, or apparently it's pronounced X-A12. The internet was up in flames when their poor kid was first announced. But did you know they had another kid? Because I didn't. Their second child, a daughter, was literally born a year later, but this made little to no noise. Maybe it's because her name is more normal compared to her older brother. Her name is Dark Sidereal. I'm gonna be honest, that's kind of a fire name because it sounds like the name of a sci-fi character. But despite this very unique name, Grimes just refers to her as Y. Why? Well, if I told you that by simply asking that answers your question, would you believe me? Because that's literally why. On Twitter, she tweeted, "She's why now, or why, or just a question mark, but the government won't recognize that. Curiosity, the eternal question, and such." Meaning she wants people to question why she's called Y. Okay, I've said the word why so many times at this point, the word is no longer real to me. At number 7, we have Macauley Culkin and Brenda song. Honestly, it came as quite the shocker when I found out these two were together. But they've been together since at least 2017, and if they're happy, we're happy. They're also very private and only share very little to their social media. So in 2021, when they welcomed their first child, Dakota, into the world, people were very surprised. The only statement they made regarding their firstborn was, "We are overjoyed," and that's all that really needs to be said. A year later, Macaulay's brother, actor Kieran Culkin, shared the news about baby number 2. Brenda described her and Macaulay's parenting as very hands-on. They don't have a nanny, but they do get help from Brenda's mother often. Brenda shared how she would go to work, her mother and Dakota would come on set for feeding and bonding time. So now with a new baby, they definitely got the hang of it. The actress advised that parenting doesn't have to be about assigning certain chores to each other. They learned that communicating is their top priority, as that's the only way you can acknowledge and resolve problems. At number 6, we have Florence Pugh and Toby Sebastian. Did you know Florence had a sibling? If you did, how did you even figure that out? Toby Sebastian is her older brother who found his own success in the acting industry. He's best known for his roles on the Game of Thrones and the Music of Silence. He's also a singer and songwriter. A couple of years ago, he came out with a song titled Midnight where he featured his younger sister. The song is a soft duet with a guitar accompaniment. If you're into songs that sound like they play at a bookstore or cute cafe, I highly recommend it. When asked about collaborating with Florence, he said, "We've always grown up collaborating as a family, which is kind of the beauty of this song and now the video that we've created. So anyone who dares say he featured her simply because of her status, do not listen to them because they clearly don't know what they're talking about." He actually credited their mom for even suggesting the idea in the first place. Within 20 minutes in the studio with no rehearsal came their little song. Next at number 5 we have Phil Collins. When I found out that actress Lily Collins is the daughter of singer Phil Collins, I had to sit down for a second. Because Collins is a very common name. I never thought they were related. There was barely any association with the two to begin with, so you can't blame me for being shocked. Now that isn't to say there wasn't any type of nepo baby privileges that came unnoticed, but clearly Lily managed to have a career in her own name. We'll talk about her nepo privileges another time. As it turns out, she isn't his only successful kid either. In total, he has 5 children, including Lily, and most of them are successful in their own career paths. His eldest daughter, Jolie, started her own production company. His eldest son, Simon, is a musician, taking after his father's profession. Simon said that Phil provided his earliest music education by giving him albums to listen to. His fourth, Nick, is also looking into a musical career and started his own band called Better Strangers. As for his youngest, Matthew, it's a mystery, but there's no doubt he has an endless supply of connections in the entertainment industry if he really wanted. And he's still young, so he has time. At number 4 we have Snoop Dogg and Brandy. The two cousins, yes, you heard that right, cousins, have their own successful music careers spanning decades. In case you've been living under a rock, Snoop Dogg is a rapper with a personality higher than life, if you know what I mean. Whereas Brandy is a singer, songwriter, and actress, most known for her R&B sound and for playing iconic roles such as Cinderella. Usually when we find out that celebrities are cousins, it tends to fall on the distant cousin type of way. But these two are actually first cousins. Their respective music careers were always separate as they never used each other to boost themselves within the industry. That's because they didn't need to, as they both managed to create their own solid fan bases throughout the 90s. But finally in 2009, Brandy was featured on Snoop Dogg's 10th album, Malice in Wonderland. They collabed in his song titled Special, where she provided the vocals for. Next on the list, we have Andie MacDowell and Margaret Qualley. Some fans of the Netflix series Made didn't believe it when it was revealed that the mother-daughter duo on the show were mother and daughter in real life. Most of it came from their names, clearly, as Margaret's stage name doesn't take after her mother's. But nonetheless, they were praised for their believable chemistry on the show, which now makes sense. Andie reassured fans that while there's so much tensity on the show, their real-life relationship is very different. Unlike the animosity and toxic relationship between their characters, Andie and Margaret are actually really close. She also shared how they spend a lot of time together anyways, so being able to work around these new types of emotions with each other wasn't very hard. And before you scream nepotism on Margaret, you'd be right, but instead of booking the role via her mother, it was the other way around. Margaret had already secured the main role and suggested to the showrunners that her mother be cast alongside her. At number 2, we have Steven Spielberg and Jessica Capshaw. While they're not blood related, they definitely are a family. A Hollywood family at that, with Steven's more than obvious big name in the industry, and Jessica known as the infamous and beloved Dr. Arizona Robbins from Grey's Anatomy. And no, they're not married. Steven is her stepfather. Kate Capshaw, Jessica's mother, is his second and most recent wife, and they're still married to this day. They met in the early 90s on set of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which he directed because duh, and Kate starred in it. It was reported that despite having these big connections, because her stepfather is literally the biggest director of all time, she decided not to use them and paved her own way. She got her Bachelor of Arts degree for English Studies and then enrolled herself in a prestigious performing arts arts program in London. Now, whether Steven had some role in getting her into these schools is unclear, but seeing as many don't know they're associated together like that, I think not. And finally, at number 1, we have Michael's Cera. Last year, it was revealed that he and his wife Nadine became new parents. Well, it was less revealed and more so exposed by Amy Schumer. It was an accident, but Michael confirmed it days after her interview was released. Michael was known for keeping his personal life private, as his wedding was low profile too. The only reason people realized the two were married was when they were spotted wearing similar wedding bands on their fingers. And even then, the media came to a conclusion that they probably got married sometime in 2018. All we know about their kid is that he's a boy, and that's pretty much it. Michael did open up more about how being a father changed his life in more ways than one. He said it changed his perspective on life as he became a real family man. In an interview, he said, "So when I was 20, I would have been way happier to go off to some weird city and live in a hotel for 3 months. And when you have kids, you want to be with your family and you miss them a lot." I'm gonna be real, I can't believe Elon Musk had another kid that we just never knew about. Was there someone on this list that shocked you too? As always, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one.